What is up, you awesome kissers? This is CistReactZ, guys. Today we're reacting to an Undeniably Canon Five Nights at Freddy's Timeline Part 1 by the ooftroop. So make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to ooftroop, and comment down below. Let's get into this bop. So, a lot of people were telling me to check this out alongside another Five Nights at Freddy's Timeline video.
Just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching.
Hey you look like you're interested in some FNaF lore. Sick of all the speculation?
Thought it was a little quiet for a second.
Want something that's undeniably canon?
Undeniably canon?
Oh. Well, that's too bad. I'm telling you anyway.
Alright. Oh god. I love the sprite work here. Oh lord. Oh, why was he like rubbing his shoulder like that? What the heck?
It was 1983.
Okay.
January to be exact. Local
January?
Henry Emily and William Afton were walking down the streets of Hurricane, Utah, when suddenly they noticed that not once in their life have they ever caught a glimpse of a yellow grizzly bear. It was then their fates were sealed, and they knew that they must fulfill their destiny.
Oh god.
Henry
I love the
and
shot
William
there, the puppet behind him, and the
so
spring shot behind William.
Their untapped potential to create the most realistic animatronic bear imaginable. On their first attempt, they made a decrepit, muddy yellow bear with giant teeth and claws.
Oh
this
god.
Wasn't realistic. William, however, remembered that in the trunk of his car rested a cluster of discs that could emit audio frequencies that would fool people into seeing real bears. They slapped those bad boys on this.
Sorry, I took a... I'm listening, by the way. This is hilarious. Wait, is there subtitles? I took a look at the description, like the first two lines. It says, it's time to truly crack open the mysteries of FNaF lore and solve the timeline once and for all. Don't worry, Scott Cawthon sent me his lore. Like, I love the comedy.
And suddenly it took the form of the beautiful golden grizzly, who they then named Ferdinand von Bernard. Not only did he look the part,
Ferdinand von Bernard?
Butter, but the mind-altering audio accidentally gave him sentience and cosmic power beyond our human understanding.
Oh my
this
god.
was very dangerous. But the partners in furry shenanigans were not swayed. That is, until the entire town evacuated at the sight of this golden beast.
What's that? Is that Steve?
People are scared of loose bears. Who would have thunk it?
Did I just see Scott Cawthon's logo moving?
Ferdinand was caught dining on a local restaurant owner, and he fled from the crime scene before law enforcement could get to him.
Oh.
William and Henry realized they had been a slight bit overzealous with their first creation. Good thing is, literally nobody knew or cared who they were, so they got away with this scot-free. Later that month, they designed an animatronic simply based on Ferdinand's likeness. This character was quite a downgrade, being both simpler and stupider. This didn't matter to the duo, though, as they loved.
Why does he look like that?
Was born.
Oh god.
They had nowhere to
Looks horrifying.
So they opted for the dump. He was truly a diamond in the rough.
Hurricane dump.
Amazingly, this attempt at entertainment was amusing enough to the citizens of Hurricane that they gave William and Henry enough money to afford a recently vacated diner space.
Oh god. Looks like him in FNaF 2 with the
Unfortunately, this
hand.
animatronic was extremely poorly designed, and their attempts at granting him artificial intelligence quickly turned sour. On February 31st, 1983, his first performance on stage in front of children prompted him to spontaneously combust from a nervous breakdown.
Oh!
William and Henry,
Jeez!
at this tragic event, cracked down to ensure this would never happen again.
Not
This
dumb
also
robot
prompted William
plans?
to threaten the United States government, and they met his
Oh!
demands to strike February 31st. From
William Afton demands
After
Joe
that,
Biden to make him a new animatronic.
Something with no flaws.
What the heck?
But then they made spring-lock suits.
Oh lord.
In an attempt to both ease the animatronic's nerves and not allow them their legally required breaks, Henry and William created mechanisms that could lock the endoskeleton parts to the inner edges of the suit for a person to climb inside and cover for the character. For extra safety precautions, they created a partner for the new Fredbear 2.0 to ease his nerves.
Spring Bonnie.
For some reason, the best name they came up with for Fredbear's partner was Spring Bonnie. William was insistent on this name, and Henry felt too threatened to argue against it. Where the safety precautions ended, however,
all up in his
the
face.
fact that the spring locks holding the endoskeleton pieces.
Jeez, why'd the art get so intense?
Were made out of paper
I love it.
and the lightest sneeze could set them off. Truly brilliant inventors, those two.
Yeah.
The dynamic duo had now created
A death machine.
William was the only one who had the nerve to actually test the springlock suit, and it turned out he enjoyed dancing around as a yellow rabbit a little too much. Henry was unbothered by this though, as William was still perfectly capable of handling their finances in character. A few months had gone by, and Fredbear's Family Diner was an absolute success.
He's just writing Texas in a Spring Bonnie suit. Why is the villager talking about it?
Utah, William even managed to lock in a deal with a low-budget animation studio in order to make a cartoon called Fredbear and Friends. The one downside, though, was
this is a
the
low
studio
budget.
needed more characters and they refused any more yellow ones. Out of obligation, Leopold, Theodore, Mirabella, and
What
Foxy
the?
were
Leopold, Theodore,
Mirabella's
Foxy?
not yellow,
What?
she's Xanthophyll. where Arabella and Foxy were created.
What is... Why does Foxy have, like, the normal name? Is Theodora, like, a little soft reference to the books? Leopold and Mirabella.
No, Mirabella's
What the heck?
She's Xanthophyll. You're just seeing things.
What?
Surely these blights to everything William and Henry stood for would never see the light of day in any other context. William and Henry were at their peak, and William finally regained custody of his children. However, one of his sons, whose name has been stricken from the record, waltzed into the back room of Fredbear's and saw Fredbear smoking a cigar.
Now he has nightmares.
Once about his respiratory health was truly traumatizing.
Oh, yeah.
In a
I was right.
The child started to run out the door, but accidentally tripped over the foot of Spring Bonnie. Unbeknownst to him, the animatronic was being worn by Harold the janitor, and this collision was enough to snap open the flimsy spring locks and impale
I knew that would
Harold
happen.
every which way.
God, look at Harold's spirit.
Heartbroken by his untimely demise and his boss's backup fursuit, transformed into pure agony, and he became a shadow creature. He gave himself a really cool name, but unfortunately he never learned how to spell, so it came out like this.
Oh,
Shockingly okay
well,
with
yeah.
witnessing this occur, the child went
That's like, isn't that, Shadow Bonnie's name in the actual files, too?
Shockingly okay with witnessing this occur, the child went home and invited his older brother, Michael, to play a game of Uno with him. However, there was foul play. This child was actually just a terrible human being and slid extra cards into the deck, causing Michael to
My
draw
God, he really is a murderer.
Enraged, Michael threw on a Foxy mask and started screeching at the child. The child,
He's unfazed.
Behavior, decided to humor Mike until he got bored of doing this and pretended to sob 24/7. Maybe, just maybe, this would guilt trip him. However, Michael was
not actual gameplay
than the child anticipated, and this behavior kept going for a whole week. The child, craving literally anything else to do with his time, walked into Fredbear's again in an attempt to face his fears before getting cornered by Trevor the cashier wearing
Trevor the cashier?
The child saw the reasoning for this, as Trevor was holding a gnat for a mediocre dentist's office in his hand.
First step to true romance?
Ran into Trevor to set off the spring locks in his suit. Trevor's spirit, a bit relieved by the matter in all honesty, turned into a more chill shadow creature that just kind of walked around convincing people to join his conga line. The child returned home,
that's good, I guess.
And told his Fredbear plushie everything he did. The next day, Michael and his Uno buddies barged into the child's room to take Fredbear's for his birthday. The child was
the
still
bite of
convinced
87.
the act, but this was a bad idea, as it just made them come up with the idea of shoving him in Fredbear's mouth. So, that's exactly what they did. They mockingly told the child to give Fredbear a big kiss, which the animatronic took immediate notice of. This was a very dangerous situation for his career, so without thinking, Fredbear clamped down his jaw on the child's jaw. This terrified Michael and his friends for about 5 seconds, until the child hopped out of it unscathed. Turns out, William and Henry gave the animatronics rubber teeth. Great safety feature. The child was livid and threatened to do the job again. Mike didn't really know what this meant, but it sounded scary enough for his buddy Jeremy Fitzgerald II to knock the child unconscious with a chair. This distressed Michael more, so he rushed the child to the hospital.
Oh my God!
Mild concussion. When the child awoke, he looked at Michael and told him that he never existed. When Michael asked what that was supposed to mean, the child fused with him and turned a little bit paler. This was just a very bad day for Michael. When he went to tell William about it, William had no clue what he meant by little brother. He told Mike to stop making up stories, trash that disrespectful mask, and take up engineering. This sounded good enough for him,
oh God.
So he did.
Wait, he just let it go easily?
The employees at Fredbear's called the police, because Harold and Trevor's bodies were just laying on the floor, and nobody cared to do anything about it.
And some kind of Bonnie had just
was shut down,
whacked the kid!
The media blamed it on the bite of 83 in order to abruptly end Fredbear's They were just jealous. William and Henry were back to square one. Because of the abundant controversy and investigations, they laid low for a couple of years. But in 1989,
outrunning the law again? Is that the orange man next to him?
The amount of money they had earned from Fredbear's, they were luckily capable of buying out a new restaurant space with ease. Unfortunately,
Achievement gift
Fredbear
with
was
Zelda
publicly
theme.
executed
I love
2
it.
years prior. So, William and Henry did the unthinkable. They made animatronics of the cartoon characters they had made out of reluctant necessity. Leopold was their immediate decision for the new mascot.
Leopold.
He was actually a bear. He wasn't golden, but he
Our new face, Leopold.
That name didn't exactly resonate with the public, so after 5 seconds of brainstorming, they renamed him Freddy Fazbear.
Hey, dude, what is Leopold?
For him to be partnered with Spring Bonnie, but William refused to work with any type of grizzly that wasn't golden. So Henry opted to rebrand Theodore to simply Bonnie, and that worked well enough. However, making these two characters so derivative of their superior counterparts worried Henry and William, as the public could possibly see through their ruse. So, they added another character to the band to distract
Chica.
people. Mirabella. Given the fact that she didn't have overtly feminine characteristics, though, Henry and William renamed her Chica to make sure any Spanish...
With her
speakers
Chica
knew
face
she
is
was a girl.
just scary.
There was one last cartoon character they could use, being
Ah,
Foxy
yes,
the Pirate.
Foxy.
This was a gimmick that the
Wow,
president
so cool.
added to drive up ratings. Henry was fine with the concept, but William hated it. For the time being,
William does
partners
not
settled
look
on shoving it
pleased.
in the corner of the building, far away from the
Dang!
three they actually tolerated.
Dang!
After opening the location, however, the two quickly realized that children didn't actually care about the three stage performers. Something
Oof.
about theming being more interesting. As more and more children flocked around Foxy's Pirate Cove, William immediately ran up and kicked the poor animatronic in the kneecaps. This put him
Jeez,
out of
bro.
business for the time being, and William
Broke his
tore him up
leg.
after closing to ensure it would stay that way. Somehow this didn't scare anyone away, and everyone just immediately piled back over to watch Freddy sing about bullfighting. Henry and
Okay,
William were
then.
truly living the life. They lost
Miss
their
you posting.
voices and animals, sure, but they were still happy. That is, until one fateful day.
Hey, can I borrow $5?
Yeah, sure. Well, not actually this specific.
I swear to God, if this leads to Henry not paying him back, and that's why he killed like 12 kids,
day. It was 2 days after this that things fell to pieces. William, after a long day of work,
Okay.
was extremely hungry. You may be wondering why he didn't just eat dinner at Freddy's, but truth be told, he hated the pizza there. They blew all their
Doesn't
budget
everybody?
on good tablecloths. So, instead,
What?
he opted to drive
Isn't it
down to
opposite?
the local rundown Carl's
Juniors?
Jr. on that fateful rainy Tuesday night. Hello, I'd like an original Angus burger and a large Coca-Cola.
Angus burger.
This was the moment that William Afton snapped. Where are my $5? In a fit of rage,
Bro, he pulled out a 20! If he goes to kill people because he had a 20, I'm about to be mad, bro.
William sped 1 mile over the speed limit and pulled up at Freddy's to enact revenge on Henry. However, by
Oh, for
chance,
$5!
Henry's daughter Charlie was locked out of the building. William, attempting to help her back in, looked at her in the eyes trying to explain his plight. However, with the rage in his heart at that very moment, his mere stare was a death sentence. Charlie flopped over immediately from this. William, over this murder, threw her in the alley next to the restaurant and drove off before anyone could see what had happened.
Alright.
After this, the restaurant security puppet, designed to keep track of the children assigned to it, walked out of the building to find Charlie. When it got to her body, her soul grew an attachment to the character, and she stuck around in hopes a new body would be made so she could fuse with it. You'd expect for this to be the end, but the sudden realization of his true power gave William an idea. With his instantaneous death stare, he could quickly and quietly send a horrible
Instantaneous death
He circled
stare.
back around to Freddy's and made a beeline toward the safe room that contained the retired Springlock suit.
Uh-oh.
He quickly equipped his spring bodysuit and darted around the restaurant telling kids that their dead dogs were alive in the safe room with Old Man Jinx. None of them actually had dogs, but they all assumed that they'd managed to get a free one anyway. Of course,
What?
they realized very quickly that they were conned. William waltzed into the safe room with 5 total children inside, but before
Wait, isn't the dog thing what he actually said in the games to the little blonde girl from the Fruity Maze? That Fruity Maze was so hard. I don't even want to think about it again.
do anything.
I don't even know why I mentioned it.
Cassidy kicked him in the shin so hard it knocked the pink out of him. Luckily, he duct taped the spring locks to the edges of his suit so they couldn't go off.
Okay,
But
that's
he was
smart.
Still made livid by this attempt on his life.
Oh no,
He
the death
stared
stare.
down each one and took them out. William wondered if perhaps he had gone overboard with his evil deeds. Figured
Yeah,
that
he
5
did.
children for $5 was a reasonable trade-off.
Yeah!
As a disclaimer to all of you at home, murder is bad.
Bruh.
Meanwhile, a drunk man named Dave Miller had just been turned away from juniors and drove home. He was a terrible father and insisted on invading his son's privacy for the heinous act of the boy. Locking his door.
Open the door!
The boy, whose name was Andrew, broke his window and left the house. Turns out, Trevor the cashier, at this point dubbing himself Shadow Freddy, convinced Andrew to participate in his conga line to Freddy's.
What the heck?
Unfortunately, Shadow Freddy's favorite spot to wrap up his conga lines was the safe room, and the two just so happened to come
Why?
as William finished stuffing 4 of the children into the animatronic suit.
Oh, well, he's getting the stare.
By a sudden extra child, accidentally gave him the death stare, and now he was left with an extra body to stuff.
He did
And
the
to make things more
facepalm.
inconvenient, there weren't any more characters to pick from. This, however, is when he realized that he could just stuff both Cassidy and Andrew into the Fredbear suit.
Oh.
William knew nobody actually wore the thing, so he was certain it would go completely unnoticed. After this, he left the building like nothing happened, and drove home to sleep in his safe and comfy spring bonnie pajama suit.
You know, I know this is like comedy purposes, but But yeah, he kind of did that though. Like, he put them in the suit and no one noticed for like a real good time. How? Like, I understand the smell started to give off, like, the kids being in there. But like, how do you just simply get away with that?
It was getting to be an obsession. After this point, Henry was very obviously devastated. However, he had no idea who actually did it. The cameras were broken, and the only accusations were that someone did it while in a mascot costume.
They're interrogating Shadow Bonnie? I mean, Shadow Freddy?
Completely unrelated.
Oh no, Pop goes!
Fortunately, Freddy's didn't get shut down for this, and Henry attempted to keep things going for a while. William had sent him a letter saying he was off on vacation for the day, so Henry was left to him for a while. William had sent him a letter saying he
Bye, going on vacation, don't waste all our money. Wish you were there.
was off on vacation for the time being, so Henry was left to handle finances on his lonesome. But
$6 is some
people
change.
rapidly started losing interest at Freddy's. The animatronics smelled horrible, and everyone finally noticed just how
He killed kids for $5, right? But their store's finances is $6. Bruh.
bad the pizza tasted. So, by year's end, the restaurant shut down.
Was Bonnie spelled with a Y on his shirt?
Tasted. So, by year's end, the restaurant shut down. Henry decided to take a break from it.
There better be a part 2 to this. I love this video so much.
Realized he could seize this opportunity and make a pizzeria with complete creative control. His daughter, Elizabeth, served as the perfect muse, and he proceeded to make an animatronic that looked nothing like her. He named it Circus Baby. Don't ask why. It's not elaborated on. However, after telling Elizabeth all about this animatronic,
Circus
he suddenly
Baby
got the idea to use Baby for a different purpose than simple entertainment.
Remnant.
He recently noticed the animatronics from the closed Freddy's location acting strange, and upon further investigation, he discovered a substance that he called Remnant. His new idea entailed having Baby and a new set of animatronics themed after her work together in order to collect more Remnant from children. So, he made Funtime Freddy and Bon Bon for easy marketing appeal. Then, he finally remade Foxy in his own vision, stripping all of that filthy pirate gimmick from him and making him a lovely coat of white and pink.
Dang.
Funtime Foxy was superior in every way, and his lack of originality meant that nobody would prefer her over the characters William actually wanted people to like. Finally, William made a character named Ballora. This one wasn't made for murder purposes so much as it was made out of contempt. For who? His ex-wife, Eleanor Schmidt.
Was that a Smash Bros type reveal?
She was an accountant, so this was easy. However, upon
Heard
coming
the
to
music.
William's house to pick up Elizabeth for a week,
Why is his wife
Eleanor saw
blue?
what he was building. Angered by the fact that this character was better at ballet than her, a woman who never once thought about it until right then.
Was Henry on that poster?
Was better at ballet
What the heck?
than her, a woman
I mean, that
who
picture,
never
not poster.
once thought about it until right then. She fused with Ballora in a fit of rage, and now William was stuck with a robot wife that danced around his workshop every day. But no matter.
Alrighty.
He secured a building to open this brand new sister location of Freddy's.
Master of
and
architectural
Circus
design.
Pizza World. And progress was going smoothly. He had some test runs of the pizzeria and let some groups of people come there early for birthday parties. But this plan quickly turned sour as Elizabeth joined a party and ignored his specific demands not to see Baby. To William's surprise, children don't listen to you if you say not to play.
Don't
with
see
something.
Circus Baby. So other eyes.
Murder equipment activated as soon as
The art's
Elizabeth
intense
was
again.
alone with her. William instantly shut down development.
Oh my goodness!
He was very
He
distraught
nuked
over this,
it!
which maybe he should have considered before trying to murder more children.
Yeah.
Despite the local population being completely confused by the sudden turn of events,
Guy who visibly
William
blew up his
blamed it on
restaurant claiming it had
gaslights,
gas
never
leaks.
spoke of it, and instead went back to Henry for them to start work on a new Freddy's location. For a while,
Just like the
they
teaser
planned
from
on just
Scott.
fixing up the old animatronics from the previous location and scrubbing them down to fix the odor problem. However, William caught sight of Foxy and formed a new idea in his head out of pure hatred. He
Foxy's
told
just
Henry
taking his-
idea for the
taking
new
a seat
design
by
philosophy
this-
of the
by the ocean.
animatronics he had in mind.
By the
He
pool.
introduced a newfangled plastic finish, flashy makeup, and to top it all off, William unleashed his newfound obsession with prefixes and dubbed them toy animatronics. In order to further justify this decision, he also proposed bringing back the security puppet character as just a normal marionette.
Security puppet, but
Finally,
cooler.
he did the hero
Afton
of the
87.
Balloon Boy.
Oh,
Getting
no.
all of that out of the way, William went straight to explaining to Henry why Foxy needed to be white and pink. And with that, the new face of Freddy's was underway. The location opened in 1987 with a lot of good press, and people were flocking to it. Why did they put
Jeez.
so much trust in this new location? Simple. Henry and William advertised that there would no longer be terrible pizza.
Local
This
restaurant
is what
fixes
they got with
biggest
it.
controversy.
This restaurant had no food. You'd think this would be a problem, but kids really like to go there for the characters alone. And by characters,
Pack and Pal.
As even despite William's every last effort of making Foxy relevant, the kids now flocked to Toy Foxy's Kids Cove to tear him apart and put her back together. They thought they could make him look better, but without technical experience, she looked less like a pirate and more like a metal tumbleweed. William had now found a new rage spurred by Foxy's mere existence, and so he enacted a second missing children's incident.
My lord!
Success. This time, however, Henry had been paying attention. He saw the camera recordings of Bonnie luring children to the safe room and realized that William was behind this the entire
My god! He even stabbed one of them!
time. He immediately fired William and told him to never show his face again.
Bruh.
William realized that this was a big problem. Henry may have let him off easy by not calling the authorities, but if anyone else checked anything, he'd be caught for sure. So, after ruffling through...
Sorry about that, I have to send a text, but I've been paying attention, I promise.
He liked any of the parents' names, he stole the name Dave Miller and applied for a job as a night guard at the location.
Yeah, totally not William
He
Afton.
tampered with the facial recognition scanners they implemented in the animatronics and wiped the camera recordings clean. On top of this, he beat up all of the old animatronics just to put them in their place after seeing Freddy walk around. He even tore off Bonnie's face for not being deserving of the mantle he once bore.
Jesus.
Possessed by little Jeremy Fitzgerald.
Oh, the art again.
Prophecy of more face trauma to come for that bloodline. After getting done with that, William could have
Why is the puppet
sworn
just
he saw
crawling?
the puppet floating around whispering to everything it could see. This made him wonder if this was actually Charlie, but he didn't care enough to check, so he left it alone. The new set of children, though? William hadn't bothered actually stuffing them anywhere, so the puppet guided them to select new vessels of their own. Instead of individual characters like it was expecting, though, all of them voluntarily possessed Balloon Boy just because it was mildly amusing. William, still presenting as
Okay,
Dave,
then.
tried to maintain a job as a day shift guard after this, but was quickly fired for having bad vibes. Also, he kept going
Bad
to the
vibes.
service room to the old Foxy animatronic.
Why Foxy,
Now that the
bruh?
night guard
What do you
position was
do?
open, one of Michael Afton's old Uno buddies applied for the job. Jeremy Fitzgerald the
Old
second.
Uno
He
buddies?
was actually pretty decent at it, but it got extremely stressful because Balloon Boy staged a coup against him with the other animatronics.
Revolution?
So,
Oh god, the Golden Freddy had an all-way, I just
transferred
noticed
over
it.
to the day shift position. Balloon Boy wasn't going to let Jeremy get away free though, and proceeded to publicly attack him and bite out his frontal lobe. Wow. That face trauma prophecy came true quickly. But hey, don't worry, it grew
What the
back within
heck?
a month. But this incident, dubbed the Bite of 87, was enough to finally get the establishment closed. On the night after this attack, they needed a guard to make sure Balloon Boy didn't escape. Instead of behaving though, local menace Fritz Smith tampered with all the
Local menace!
extremely aggressive just because he thought it'd be funny. Company higher-ups didn't appreciate this and quickly took care of the problem. Thus, 1987 ended with another
Holy
location
shit.
shut down abruptly. Henry scrapped all the toy animatronics after this except for Toy Freddy and the puppet. Turns out Toy Freddy was already retiring as he really wanted to become a gamer. His endeavors were successful and he led a happy life. The puppet
Alright, good for him.
vanished. Henry, spooked by the idea
okay.
of a sock monkey with a clown mask coming back to haunt him, started making blueprints for a counterattack if that day ever came.
Lefty.
Now, Henry had his sights set on repairing and reusing the old animatronics for one last attempt at the pizzeria business without William in his way. However, this plan was easier said than done. Henry, with all of his financial incompetence, had next to no funds to enact
No
this.
free money.
He briefly attempted a public fund to try and get money. After a day of
Please
trying,
help.
he gave up with
Please
the
help
fees
enable me, I'm begging you.
Henry was broke, sure, but he had some powerful resolve. So, he decided to steal back the building he and William used in 1985 to recycle for his new pizzeria. Despite this being very much illegal, nobody actually wanted to use the building given its history, so the city decided not to bother Henry when he claimed it back as his. Being a one-man show, Henry had to take his sweet time renovating the place. But, after about a year, he managed to open it back up with somewhat new animatronics. And, to his surprise, he was actually moderately successful.
You have money.
Due to a dwindling bear population in Utah, there was growing demand to see one in person, and the populace reluctantly decided that Freddy Fazbear's Pizza was their best shot at doing so.
God, why is he like
Unfortunately, the
rubbing his
working
shoulder?
conditions were very much terrible. The
Oh
most
gosh,
loyal
is Foxy
employee
chasing
at Fazbear
someone?
Entertainment, only known by his co-workers as Phone Guy, was assassinated by the animatronics during his final week of working the night shift.
Phone Guy equals purple guy?
Suspiciously purple. The good thing is, he had recorded a helpful guide on how to not get assassinated right before getting assassinated.
Yeah.
Henry was not ready to let this casualty of his negligence ruin things for him.
There's a phone just
Covered
sticking
up
out.
Phone Guy's death, and business went as usual afterward.
My
William,
gosh.
still being unemployed and bored,
Normal land.
decided now was a good
Did that just say normal landline?
for him, though, so he covered up Phone Guy's
Nah,
death,
that's
and
hilarious.
business went as usual afterward. William,
Totally
still being
normal
unemployed
phone.
and bored, decided now was a good time to take revenge on Henry.
For no reason, because he was bored.
He realized
That's
that
crazy.
He still had an entire stockpile of animatronics
Man, so
to use. With the power of legal loopholes, he managed to kickstart.
does it say Freddy Fuzzball?
With the power of legal
Freddy
loopholes, he
Fazbear.
managed to kickstart Circus Baby's entertainment and rentals. For suspiciously low prices, the average family could have a giant chrome animatronic shipped to their doorstep to throw parties for their children. What could go wrong?
Yeah.
Well, Baby's eyes were green. For a moment, William thought he just misremembered her eye color, but then she started talking to him about very personal matters, and he realized Elizabeth had possessed her. Instead of doing anything immediate to solve this problem, he locked her in the rental facility and wrote a note on the fridge to take care of it later. After a few
Daughter
more
is
years,
dead, possessing
Michael
Circus
Afton
Baby.
finally graduated engineering school and came back home. William was delighted by his son's return, as he was conveniently useful for his newest plot against Henry. However, he wanted Michael to be fully prepared for what was to come. So, William locked Mike into a crude
AI
replica of their
testing
house
nightmare
that vaguely
chamber?
resembled the layout of Freddy's. In this fake house, William had prepared makeshift animatronics with dangerously high safety hazards to attack Michael, so he could learn how to defend himself against the real deal. After roughly a week of watching Mike handle the process, William noticed something went wrong. Something broke into the fake house. Upon further investigation, he discovered some discarded audio discs lying.
Oh no.
It was Ferdinand von Bernard.
Ferdinand von Bernard.
For exactly a decade, he returned to Hurricane to wreak havoc on his creators.
Why?
He targeted William's favorite, only, son, using his unaltered form. But Mike was resilient, and he managed to avoid Ferdinand long enough that he got bored, reapplied his audio discs, and finally wandered away. Given the unplanned attack on Michael, William ended the testing process and gaslit Mike into believing it was all just a nightmare before changing the subject to getting a job.
It was all
To
just
ensure
a
that Henry
nightmare.
wouldn't tell Michael what he knows about his father, William told Mike that he should apply using his mother's maiden name
Schmidt.
rather than Afton. That way he doesn't draw attention to himself for being related to everyone's favorite former manager, of course.
Ugh.
So, Mike Schmidt worked for a whole week at this place. The animatronics tried to assassinate
Get the
him due to his
pose.
good looks, or so he assumed.
Mike
After working
Schmidt.
an extra night and being applauded by Henry, he was then instructed by William to sabotage
Dumb
the
robot,
animatronics using
weak
his engineering
points.
skills. Why do I need to disable their AI? It builds character. And Henry
That was a good
still
impression of him.
$5. Michael wasn't buying this, so he just
That was a real good impression of the Michael Afton voice actor. Did they actually get him? Wait. I'm sorry. I just have to listen to it again. That was like
Why
good.
do I need to disable their AI?
That was kind of
It
good.
builds character.
What the heck?
And Henry still owes me $5.
Oh my god.
Michael wasn't buying this, so he decided to do the exact opposite and crank them all up.
Still
to
on that
maximum
5,
setting to
bro.
challenge himself for the end of his week. But due to the animatronic scent rubbing off on him, Henry fired him for body odor and inadvertently caused a personal grudge. Before
Ugh.
leaving, Mike snuck into the back and disabled all of the animatronic systems to spite Henry. Now that the animatronics didn't work, everyone stopped caring about Freddy's again. Henry's profits plummeted, and he was ultimately forced to shut the place down.
After he was
by
outside
end
the
of
window.
1993. After hearing this news, William was ecstatic. He
Bruh.
began marketing the Circus Baby rental.
Woke up
service
extra
to
early just to hate on Henry for
succeeded to begin his
$5 that he
title
missed out
William
on.
had needed Freddy's closed for more reasons than just spite. The Fun Times Remnant collection was not working as frequently as he hoped, and if he wanted to understand the substance at all, he needed more of it quickly. So, he made sure he had free reign to tear apart the animatronics to harvest their remnant and leave. After sneaking into the now abandoned Freddy's, he set up camp in the safe room since the animatronics were programmed not to
How to get a remnant from... It says CO robots? Like, I'm gonna assume it just says dumb robots as per usual.
go in there. But then he remembered Michael had completely deactivated them, and they would only move if the souls possessing them were motivated enough to. Luckily, Shadow Freddy suddenly appeared, and William bribed him to start a conga line leading into the safe room so he could
Bruh.
dismantle all the animatronics.
Oh my
His plan
god!
worked flawlessly. In the animatronics' weakened state, William was able to tear them apart using nothing but his bare hands. Unfortunately for him, some of the remnant spilled and formed into the visible spirits of the missing children. Terrified
That's a good
that
shot.
they might be able to kick him in the shins, he ran to his trusty spring Bonnie suit and put it back on for the first time since 1987. Feeling empowered despite this accomplishing nothing, William began to laugh at the ghosts.
Uh-oh.
But in his self-indulgent celebration, he failed to realize
Oh
that
no,
tape
the duct
holding back
tape!
The spring locks had fallen off, and the leaky ceiling proceeded to snap them shut.
Oh.
The ghosts, finding his inconvenience hilarious, faded away for the time being so they could gossip about him elsewhere. While normally being impaled like this would result in immediate death, The spring lock failures these suits cause are painful enough to consistently cause so much agony that life is maintained in some way. While Harold the janitor got the short end of the stick and became a miserable shadow creature, William was now
Okay, then.
the Gravit suit. Realizing he wasn't gonna properly die anytime soon, William Afton came up with a new name for his new form. He called himself Springtrap. And with that, we end this chapter of the timeline.
Okay, then.
Wait, but what about the rest of it? I'm drawing it out. For suspense. And this is a lot to cover, but pretend it's only for suspense.
My camera messed up?
But what about Ferdinand Von? Don't worry about him. I'm sure he won't do anything crazy before this is all done. Alright, goodbye for now.
He's scared of Ferdinand, bro. He's gonna be right behind. Oh, God. Alright, guys, so, that was, Sorry. Family member texting me while recording. That was great. That was a great thing. I cannot wait to see more of the Undeniably Canon Five Nights at Freddy's timeline. If you guys want more, make sure you guys hit the like button, comment down below, subscribe for more. Come kiss your day. I'll see you tomorrow.